Well then, hello everyone, and welcome to Fridays with Last Cloudia with Netherdox. Well, this is a new project since the request is already there, for example from my guild in Last Cloudia, the game, which is a gacha game which I already play. It's quite a long. It's the 6th anniversary now, and I started in the 2nd anniversary. So yeah, 4 years already there. And some people have already suggested, because this game is quite complicated, and how to actually work around with the builds, how to build a unit properly, I decided myself, okay, maybe I give it a shot, getting on the building itself and how to properly develop units and on what focus, for example, for the newbie players. But I would say just watch into this, and maybe I get some new players with me as well, because it's a multiplayer game as well. So enjoy. This is how it looks like. Don't be afraid. This is all what I set up for now. They're very cool units, to be honest. Very nice done. I have quite a roster already. So this is the music. Yes, indeed. So as you can see, most of the arcs almost done here. So since I'm already playing quite a lot. But oh boy, where do I start? So first things first, I would recommend for new players, for example, to focus on a unit. For example, if you have a very specific unit, you want to try to get a very solid team. For example, how do we start? Get one melee DPS in, try to get a healer in or a supporter, and then as well, for example, a unit which can buff the whole team as well. So it's quite difficult to actually build that, but let me show you this on an example and how to actually do this. So for example, I will use Adel here as a main attacker, for example. Very solid unit. Also we can upgrade him, but let's do this as well. That is also finished. Yeah, I will get to that part later. Don't worry about that. Okay, so this one here is my main attacker. Then I have, in this case, a healer. This healer provides with certain buffs, for example, let's say the traits here. Regular gives all allies a damage taken minus 40% buff. But if you don't have her, you have also options. For example, you will have Spirit Maiden Terrier, or even normal Terrier is already quite good. If you have her, if you're lucky enough and you got her. She also have a very good passive. In this case, all allies periodically get faint nil. Take minus 20% damage from most numerous enemy types, randomly chosen when equal. So this gives you a huge advantage against most of the beatstick bosses which you will face onwards in the story itself. So if you have her, good for you. And as you could also see, I have a mage here. So for mages, it's not only Lailaha, which you can take. There are many out there. For example, Eliza, if you have her, she's fine. She's really fine at the very beginning. If you have her, just build her out. Now we're getting to the most complicated part. Because you only want to firstly focus on the main 3 characters, which I told you right now. An attacker, a melee attacker of course, then a healer, and the range DPS. Get them as fast as you can to max level. This is your utmost thing you want to go for. And then focus on enhancing them. Max level, awaken them. And then comes the most sick part. You have a whole board here that you will want to max out as soon as possible as well. How do you do that? There are multiple ways, for example. Let's start off with how you can acquire these materials. You can go here on events, as you can showcase here, event, where my mouse is hovering over. If you click here, you can select the training stage. Over the training stage here, you have, now everything's open because it's weekend. It is weekend, yeah. Firstly, you want to start with the lowest one, of course. And if you can't beat the lowest one, then go to the next one, and to the next one, and so on. This is what you will need to upgrade your units. Is crystal clusters, crystals itself, and the crystal lights. But it gets even more harder. you can go to God afterwards, which gives you another type of crystal, which is of course the Mega Cluster. And also after that the Ultra Cluster, which I will get later to that part. So, when you have a unit at 110, the next step opens up for you. Which is in this case, let me zoom out, thank you. This part. These three on the sides, as you can see, I click on them right now, you can unlock with a specific material, which I will show you as well. If you need to stop, you can stop at any given time, so that you can see for yourself. You can click on the alchemy button. I show that again. Over the arena, there's an alchemy button, which you can click on. But, there's another but. It only unlocks after you progressed far enough into the story itself. Don't forget that. Play the story a little bit, you will have a blast. It's a very well written story on top of it. You will enjoy that, 100%. So, let's get into the materials alchemy. You don't have that immediately what I have here. How does that function? Well, you want to do some alchemy. This is also a part of it. You just alchemy, 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 and whoops, already you're all there at level 8, 9, and 10. This is what you want to aim for. Fusing, fusing, fusing. You fuse the shit out of this until you hit the level 10 here. So, what you can do afterwards is grimoires. As you can see right now, I have here, for example, here the Green Wind Grimoire. You need specific materials, which I told you already earlier. The Mega Cluster, for example, together with Magic Domes. You can also always click to where to acquire and to know where to get them. Mostly, where I'm going to is, for example, the Seeking the Insignias, Redmond Insignias. You can also auto-farm it overnight. Splendid done. Well, I started when there was no auto-farming yet also, yeah. It has gotten a lot easier. You can just chillax and get some really nice materials. So if you have each of them 3 times, you can upgrade the 110 path completely. This is what it gives you. After that, you want to go to 120, which is a little bit of a grind, but through events, which are, for example, right here now, you get bonus points when you bring some specific characters. Right now I'm building mine. Actually called Alice. Yeah, the new demon plate Alice, which is also very strong. So if you want to go for her, go for her. She's good. Also a UR arc is in here. Very nicely done. They synergize very well. Then you can go for the very specific ones. The Red Flame God Grimoire or the Blue Water God Grimoire. So to be short, the God Grimoires. This is where it gets complicated. Or, let's say, harder to acquire. You need Ultra Clusters. Same stages, but the drop chances are around, I suppose, 5%. They don't drop that often. So if you want to go with them, be ready to farm a lot. A lot. Now you have this. Okay, so in total, you will need 3 of the normal grimoires, another 3 grimoires to upgrade then to the God grimoires. But if you have that, 1 character is guaranteed finished. So congratulations, you learned now how to finish a character's board. But this is not everything. I want to showcase you firstly as well on how it looks like when you go into an event, for example. And yes, this is Virgil from Devil May Cry. We will start now the event. Right now, Advocate's Exorcism is going on right now. This is where we want to go into, because we can then farm really nice stuff. As you can see, very nicely done as well. Good job. So you can select the stage here. What you want to aim for here to get a character really good upwards is the drill house. You have here the XP field, which consumes cadet tickets, which you can obtain during normal event quests, which you can do. And also, you want to do the daily XP fields. But now comes a very important thing, so pay attention. When you want to upgrade a character, like this, with utmost XP bonus, you're gonna search for a friend over the course of time you have played for this specific character. It's very, very important. Granadas. You can check this friend's equipment as well. Go to check skills and go all the way down. And if he has Fierce Instructor in, you want to take him in. Because the XP received after a battle is plus 100%. But it is not stackable. So you take him with him, you get a 100% flat bonus. Also, very, very nice to notice is that each character you go in, the XP bonus splits. For example, if you have some Pokemon players in here, you know how the EP split up works. This is exactly the same. But, as I already told you, I'm going in with Alice. Not right now because I'm missing some, as you can see, important materials. But normally, you will go in with one unit only. Use this one, Granadas, and then you battle. Because she, and only she, or he, whatever case you choose, gets the full amount of experience points, which is massive, normally, especially in these XP fields. As I told you earlier, when events are going on, specific characters also get a very special bonus. As you can see, we have now 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 characters which get a bonus of it. A few of them get also 50% XP bonus. You want to aim for these. Very important. If an event is going on, check your characters. If you have a character which you think, okay, this one, I benefit, I want to build that character, go for it. Yeah. This is now what you need to watch for events. Also, you can now go for rewards in this event, of course, so just fight your dailies, make the special quests. I do these once now. I will use my strongest team, of course, because I want to show you how it looks like. Yeah, let's use these. And afterwards I explain a little bit the building and what to look out for, how to get him. Really good going. I think this should do the trick then. And then we're doing a few multiplayer runs so that we can achieve some materials. And if you have any questions, you're always invited to, of course. Get some questions in. Also, there's a special move which you can use. Also very smooth done. And as you can see, Bayonetta did a really good amount of damage there. Also pixel art, which I highly appreciate. But maybe I'm just old school. There we go. This is how it looks like. You mostly get some blue souls, red souls, not in this case though. AP, XP, Zell is your currency, which you can buy some stuff as well. Event points. And now you get a tries at it. Convenient. Can showcase that as well. Really cool. Would you like to play it again? You can always make this one 2 times. I can showcase your Virgil as well. Virgil took me a long amount of time to get him straight up. To deal some massive damage. Still waiting for his insight. He might be really insane after that. And done. Yeah, Adel, if you have him, the Great Hero Adel, he's one of the strongest characters against bosses. I have so many things to tell you. I really should have written an agenda. So many things to cover in this game, it can be very confusing, especially for new players. But at least the basics are covered for now. Quest active. There we go. Advocate's reward. So this is a very special one, because if you have this, you can acquire something very nicely. And this is the Rainbow Potion. If you get one of these, what it does, a potion that raises a unit to level 100. So, that means for you, if you get one of these potions, immediately, level 100. You don't need to enhance it to level 100, it's just plainly 100. That one's gold worth. At the time you can also skip now battles. They added so many features. It's really cool. But there happens nothing except a big chest. Kadoosh. Enjoy your reward.
This barely even counts as a warm-up.
Nicely done. There we go. We got a ground scale, that's good. We need that for later. Don't worry, I explain all my steps. So, rewards. As you can see, only one more is missing, which means we're doing one normal quest. Where is even a bonus? I think a bonus quest might also count for it. Which is actually quite nice. Let's finish this fast. Gadoosh.
Ashes to ashes.
Wait. That was nice.
This barely even counts as a warm-up.
This is also a game where you can relax, watch some movies in the background as well, do some tries. So it's not actually like a sweat one. 11 Raven. Let's go in. Oh my god, what the hell? You got plenty of rewards there, really nice. Yeah, so if you want to play that event, do that. It just gives you bonus over bonus over bonus over bonus. Don't miss it out, really. Okay, anything else here? I don't think so. Good. Okay, so how the event works is also a little bit different. Normally you just go on a quest, finish it, done. So here is what happens here. It is point based, so you want to bring along units which gives a percentile buff up so that you can get the most amount of it. What I always say, go to 100,000 points obtained so that you get the adventurous coin, because if you get 10 adventurous coin you get very strong items later onwards. And then if you have like the patience to go for it, you can also grab another adventurous manual on 300,000 points. But this I recommend you not to do, because this is just a waste of flasks. Ah yeah, flasks or orbs in this case is also something else. As you can see, you have these little thingies here right below the crystals where I'm clicking right now. You can see that very nicely. I have 10 now. If I get on a very specific event, for example, let's say I do the Rainbow Ability Gate solo, Or we can also multi it. We don't care at that moment. Yes, there was even a Sonic the Hedgehog collab. And I was lucky enough to get the Knuckles here. Who do we use? I like my Demon Lord. Where's my Demon Lord? Demon Lord, where the hell are you? There you are. And I give you a very specific one. Into this. There's only one weapon or sword? When equipped with only one weapon. Okay, we can use that one. Good. Sweet. I will explain the arcs in a second. I just want to showcase you the orbs. Now, as you can see, players will join me. And each player controls his character, of course, and can do some stuff. You can also customize your stamps, which you can collect over the time here. So for example, I will use this one now. Welcome. And then let's have some fun. Boom. So yeah, you can do quite some stuff. What I'm always saying about Last Cloudia, you can invest money, but you don't need to. So if you're free to play, go for it, of course. If you want to support the developers, you can do that as well. Prices can be hard sometimes, but I recommend, what I do for example is, I get the monthly pass. You get a fair amount of crystals, it's not too expensive. You can get some really good stuff out of it, so this one is beneficial. You get your money's worth in this case. Jackpot! Till we meet again. So, and now as you can see there is something else happening. So we used now warps. I was the leader for example, and for each other member which participated here in this fight we get something on top of it. The same goes also for the other characters, so because we were 4 people they will also redeem 4 of the rewards as extra. Which is separated, of course, from the main pool. And now you can see, I spent the orange orbs. And these ones, use them very wisely. That's why I said in the event, you can use these orbs. You get a plenty of orbs as well. But if you're smart, don't exceed over the limit of the 3 orbs you get. You only have a certain amount of orange orb recover. So, the potions or the flasks here. After the event is gone, they are also gone, mostly. Use only your own recoverers when it's necessary. Most people overlook that. So what I did here, when you have friends, you can click on that. Quite the list there already, yeah, I don't go through there. You can add some friends, of course. They can send you some friendships which you met. You can also strap some. This is my ID, so if you want to join me in Last Cloudia, you can always do that. Friend code, Last Cloudia. If you want to join me up, you can do that. There we go. Nevertheless, you can also invite friends. So if they send you your ID, you can enter it and boom, they're here. And also, for the anniversary, for example, I could choose the anniversary medal. which you can also use to exchange some very specific items there. Well, afterwards you can receive all and gift friends. Never forget to gift and get, if you do that. Okay, yeah, of course, Gasha. You need to pull for the heroes which you want. So if you have someone specific in mind, for example, if you heard of it, oh, Devil May Cry is gonna drop, I want Virgil or I want Dante or Nero, save up your crystals for it and pull. This game is now in a state where it's changing, which means even the older units getting up to 120, getting some insights, which is a new feature, so that they become valid again. Because the power creep was already pretty hard, which was pretty sad. So the insight is a very good step forward to make them at least as valuable as the new units. For example, Bayonetta, she was already outclassed. And now they were like, okay, hey, let's give it an insight. Boom. And now you can learn them some special skills now, so that they are stronger. Which of course the coolest one is Brute Buster. Yeah, you can also enhance the stats further. Normal. Can go beyond the normal caps. Very nice. Okay, so what else do we need to cover? Ah, yes, I mentioned so many things already. Holy shit. This is gonna be a really good sheet. So, world. Story. You have quite a big story. You will start in Grand Celia, so that I can showcase to you what awaits you when you start the game. Don't let yourself be overwhelmed. It showcases you very nicely where to go. So, where you start is... Yes? I think you're starting for... No. Where's the tree? Where's this freaking tree? You start here. This is where you start. From the Rusted Seashore, you go over the Dagor Caves, Port Miguel, and so on, until you have discovered the first part here. After you did that all, there are some hard bosses in there, so prepare for that. You will go to the next map, Claudia Granda, and to the next map, Claudia, to the next map, Geopolis and Demonian Nalverza, which is now the newest map. Nevertheless, you will get a lot of crystals when you play through the story. For newcomers, this is really, really amazing. So, play the story. Really play the story at the very get-go. And then when you finish the story, you can pull for units which you like. But I always used to say, think twice before you spend, because you only get one big chance with big amount of crystals. After you will using all of your crystals from the normal quest for the world quest, for the world map quest, this is where it gets annoying. You need to farm crystals, which means through events, through special limited time events for the Battlecraft Simulator, for example, which is endgame. You don't need to worry about that now, for example, if you're new. You can also do some playtests if you like a unit. For example here, do you like Balazar? Okay, I look at him. If you like him, okay, I'm gonna pull for him. This is very nice, so that you can see what that unit actually does. Yeah, endgame content again. I somehow managed to finish it with a partner, because you cannot solo it, it's multi only. And I had a very, very solid person there. Gladly. I had my share there on characters, he had a share, and together we finished it. Then also, this is a good one. If you have a solid team of 12 characters, because you need 3 squads. Well, you don't need to necessarily need to have a 3 squad. You can also use only like your best, most equipped and broken units on the first squad, then you can also go through it. Then do the tower. It awards you with something really, really nice. And this is an arc. Not the best arc, but still valuable, which is Luxia's God of Ruin second form. You want to have that. It gives you the Dark Drive. For Dark units, really, really solid. Also Awaken. This Awaken is overlooked so much. It saved me so many times already. Just read that with me. When close to death, very greatly restore HP, boost movement speed and strength, defense and mind plus 50%. 50%. That is huge. And Lux's revelations, yeah, this is just okay. If you need a little bit of a damage drop, that little spit in the face for the boss, for example, which is not a god type, then you can do that. All in all, though, Godfetter is also nice, which is the Arc Eva reward. Arc Eva is something as well, which you can do. Let's use one which I did not fill up yet, so that you can see how it looks like. There we go. So, you can gather over the time Ethereum, which you would normally get when you upgrade either an Arc or a unit. No, not a unit anymore. Arc only, yeah. Then you can get the Ethereum. As you can see, I can give it to 100%, and what it gives me then is, for example, this one. An item, which is only specific to the Arc itself. I don't need to seal off this old blade yet, because it's only for divinity types. Against divinity types, I mean. But I have some better options there already. Ah. Okay, we covered that as well now. Yeah, Alchemy I covered as well. Conquering. You want to unlock at least 4 in the first one, 3 on the second one, 3 on the next one, and so on. This is, yeah, all the 500s in this case. And yes, it costs crystals. But what it gives you, souls for a specific unit. You can choose a unit, put it in, boom, she gets souls. It just come back at any given time. It takes normally 20 hours. As you can see, there is 6 more hours left for these characters, and you get all these souls. And these souls you can use to upgrade the characters, which you already saw before, for Awakening, for example. And what does Awaken do? It strengthens the ultimate ability of the character, so that it gets stronger, and as well, all the overall stats. HP, strength, int, magic points, defense, mind. So very solid. So you wanna to clarify now, let's summarize everything. You wanna clear the story, you wanna focus on 3 characters to max out, you wanna conquer, you wanna awaken as soon as you can. You also want to skills. This is like, how do I explain that? You have a skill set. And the SC is like the skill counter. Which means every skill you put in, which you learn the character from arcs, for example, consumes skill counters as skill points. You need to calculate very, very good to have some solid usage of the abilities. Okay, so skill counters. Also covered. for your 3 first units which you decided to go for. Skill counters. Very, very important. You can use either the model souls, which you can get, for example, if you level up a character to level 100, then you go to story and there you get some. Or you can use their own souls, for example, by grinding or by conquering. Alchemy. Again, don't forget that. Grimoires, very important, so that you can give them everything. Full roster, because you want to build the whole board out of them. And if you have then some souls, you can unlock the ward. But this is extra. Ignore that for now. If you have the souls left, then you have it. So you want to have a clean board like this. Many things I explained right now. Now, the next part. Arcs. Now you have your units. Now you have them maxed out. You're processed into the story. You got a few arcs. But now you're thinking to yourself, what do I do with the arcs? Well, they have many benefits. Even the smaller ones. So you have a few types. You have rares, super rares, you have super rares, and you have limited rares, and as well ultra rares, which are the hardest to get. As you can see, LR, SSR you saw already, and now UR, very hard to get. Usually I would say it goes as this. The R ones are the weakest ones, but it also depends what you use. In my opinion, for example, Eldanian Warriors is not bad. Close to death, strength plus 25%, feint to physical attacks plus 80%. Can be really solid. 4 or more enemies, plus 20% strength, recover HP when you defeat a human enemy. Battle start, boost strength up, and so on. So these are weaker effects, I would say. And we go into the SR, so the super rare ones. These are already quite stronger. Let's use, for example, Beast Hunter, one of the most common ones. When there is a beast, bird, fish or dragon, strength increases by 20% and the movement speed is being boosted. If you use a character which has a bow, anti-type damage plus 25%. When there is one enemy, critical rate plus 7%. Sounds not too bad, right? But there's more to it. This is why everyone is using the Beast Hunter, and which you also should get it. And get the skill at 10. You can activate that skill, and what it does, chance to get items from all enemies with items, up to 1 per enemy. So if you have like 20 enemies, and you know they're gonna die, activate the Beast Hunter, because nevertheless, if you kill it, or a friend of you kills it, in the multiplayer mode, boom, you all benefit from that. You wanna always use it at the most amount of enemies possible. Okay, now we're getting to the very interesting part of arcs though. You can see their skills, unit skills. Beast Killer, Pride, Surprise Attack, Claw Equip, Beast Slayer, Critical Up 3. Yes, you can equip a unit with an arc. Good. You get the effects of the arc. Good. But you can also learn some skills from them. And your playstyle is also a very crucial part on how you want to build something. If you play a mage, for example, what do you do with surprise attack? A mage never attacks from behind. Mostly. Most of the time. So what you want to give him from this arc? Bingo! Critical up 3. Critical hit rate will increase because it also boosts the critical rate from your mages, not only from melee types. Surprise attack is more for melee DPS. If you go behind them and just strike them, it does 50% more damage. This was just an example. And now get ready! The real fun is getting started. All of this arcs has something which you can learn your units. This is why I saw it already earlier. Choose only 3 units at the very beginning. And learn them as many arc skills as you can. And this happens on a very, very easy base. You can equip one. Yes. For example, I equip now this one. He has already mastered everything, so I don't care about it. Equip one, okay? You are okay. I learn him this one. Don't go yet. You can set sub-arcs, which means they can learn an additional 3 more arcs, even though you did not equip them, so that it's way faster. If you're spender, for example, for the Last Cloudia Plus, you have 2 more, but not that necessary. 3 is already good enough. But if you're spender, okay, go for it. You have an easier life then. It just takes a while longer without it. But it's okay. Now you learned your skills, but you're asking yourself, what do I equip? What do I do? I have so many skills now. My mind is exploding already. Netherdox is covering you. Well, this is a bad example here. Balazar is specific. We have a little bit more understanding. We will use a very basic unit. The most basic unit, to be honest. Hi. This unit you will have from the get-go. So what do you do with Kyle? Well, Kyle, as you know, is a physical attacker. He attacks with sword. He has some special traits already, hot-blooded abilities, as you can see, frontal combo attack in a small area. So, it tells us already, it is neutral. Long-range frontal attack, frontal combo attack in a small area, powerful frontal combo attack. Except the Crimson Ride, frontal medium area fire attack, anti-plant type effect. But what about that? There's some fire attack in there. I have a solution there for you. You will firstly want to give him the critical ups. Why? Because you want to give him the crits, so that he hits harder. What you can also give him is the advanced aim vitals. Why? Because it increases the critical hit power by 50%. But Netherdox, what does it do? Well, as you can see, we have now 15% critical hit rate. So each strike has a 15% chance that it hits critically. And when it hits critically, it's hitting with 50% more power. Thanks, Netherdox. But that's not it, right? Yeah, you're correct. So, what's coming in is Proud Force. You can get that on a rare one, which is the Broken Shore. No. Broken Sword on the Shore. Yeah, that was the name. So, what does it do? Critical hits recovers HP. You're like, oh, now I get it. Yeah, so every time I crit, I heal myself. That's it, correct. This is where we're going right now. Can I use this on all units? You most certainly can. But I have only 15% critical hit up. Isn't that too low? Well, it most certainly is. Because you have some more things to increase that. There's something called, do we have it here? I think we have it here. But this is a very specific one. So if you don't have that, you can hunt it later. Let me search that. It's called Twin Dragons. But I don't have it learned on him yet. Yeah, nevertheless, Twin Dragons also is a unique skill, which you can learn, which also gives another 15% critical hit rate. But what else it gives is a break rate. Oh, Netherdox. What's break again? Yes, you can break enemies, which means it's the same as, like, for example, if you played any Souls game, you know, some enemies have posture, and you can break through it. So stance breaking. This is exactly what happens here. You can break enemies, and this is where they get the most amount of damage in. Normally. But let's get back to the main topic. So now we equipped critical hits 1, 2, 3 advanced iron vitals and proud force. You can rock the world, right? No, not correct. Not yet. First, you want to increase your attack even more. So in this case, we're giving him something special. As you can see, you can give a fire attack raise, you can give ice attack raise, you can give earth mega, earth drives, thunder drives. Be careful. Boosts give magic damage. Drives give physical damage. Be careful on that. Don't mix up boost and drive. Drive is always physical. There you have also light attacks up. Dark attacks up. Infinity is something else which you can get very hard on a new arc, but it does light and dark physical attack up, or in this case as well magic. But I wanna get to very specific things. So Kyle in this case is like, he wears an armor and he uses a sword. So what are we using here? Could either use Knight's Mindset Sword. Sword and armor equipped. Sword strength and armor defense plus 50%. Huge, right? Yes, it is. But let me check that on the equipment. Yeah, he can use armor and clove. So, you would be good with that. But if you're more on the clove side, you will use Swordman's Mindset. Which does exactly the same thing. Instead of only giving defense, it gives defense and M&D, which is mind, plus 30%. So it splits equally. But now we're getting to the most important part. He's using a sword, right? And you're like, but he has a fire attack in it. How can I boost that? You can use favorite sword, for example, which is also on a very specific arc. If you get the chance to get a free arc of your choice, firstly get that one. Favorite sword is the get-go thing for every sword user. What it does, well, physical attack damage plus 30%, and it gives a physical attack damage cap plus 10,000. But Netherdox, what is a damage cap? Let's say this is your damage output. This is where it limits. With a damage cap increase, you can exceed that limit, you know? So for example, Kyle does 50,000 damage on a regular hit. But you are like, I can't go past by it. He does so little damage. Well, favorite sword in this case gives another 10,000 to it. And now he does 60,000. Great, right? This is what you exactly want to. In this case, there is even more to it. You have two-handed sword boost, you can increase the cap even more, and so on and so on. So if you have the specific skills there, as you can see, you can increase the cap and as well increase the damage output themselves. You can equip all the damage ups as you want. As soon as you notice, okay, there's something fishy going on. I should be dealing a crazy amount of damage, but it's not going further than, for example, 120,000 per hit. What is wrong? That means you already hit your cap, and you cannot increase it by any means except if you do something with your cap, which you can increase as well, not only with skills, but with equipment. But now we covered this. So we could give him a 200 sword boost again. But oops! Now you run into the SC. They're 49 out of 50, so we cannot add anything anymore. Which is the next matter. The next matter here is your friend. Skill cost upgrade with Mother Soul. But I cannot increase it! Well, because you did not pay attention from the get-go. You want to maximize your board here. Which looks like this. If you did it for the first time. Maybe you remember from Final Fantasy X, the Sphero board. This is exactly how it happens. And as you can see here, ability unlock skill max limit up. We don't do that yet, but it gives you from 50 to 65. And you've hit another threshold. You can then boost again with Mother Souls or with Kyle's Soul in this case. Okay, now I got a little bit smarter, you think? Well, yes. But did you know you can increase your damage even more? This one is tricky. There's something called anti-type boost. You have different types of enemies. For example, this little Paul here, when you're watching over YouTube, or this Paul here, if you're watching over Twitch, is a creature type. So if you equip anti-type boost, this is just a showcase, so it's okay. Then you want to have Creature Slayer with you. What does it do? Give physical attacks an anti-creature type effect, because normally you're just striking with normal slashes. Okay, it does like, let's say, 30,000 damage. But then you're giving him Creature Slayer, and all of a sudden you're doing 50,000 damage. So his normal damage, and you're like, what the hell happened? Well, it happens, you're attacking exactly his Slayer. His exact weak point. You're attuned to this situation that you can hit him with your full might, because you are a Slayer of this certain specific type. And what is now anti-type boost, Netherdox? Well, also very simply explained. Anti-type boost boosts this effect. And this anti-type boost, or the anti-type itself, the Slayer itself, has its own cap. It is differently calculated from your normal damage cap output. So you see now, you have like your normal damage cap output by 60,000 now with Favorite Sword, because we equipped it. But the Slayer itself, with the anti-type boosts, gives you now 80,000 damage. Why, you might be thinking? Because in this case the damage cap is higher at 20,000. Because you're hitting a very specific weak point from this enemy. So that you can do the maximum amount of damage. Never forget that. If you're going for one specific kind of enemy, and you know you will only face that one, get an anti-type, get a Slayer in, and go for it. This is what you want to do. For example, I will do now Bahamut. He's one of the strongest ones. He can one-shot you. I will use no support here. I will go with my Riven in, because I really like that dude. As you can... Here you did see well. Sub-arcs, I set them automatically. Because I click, auto set, and it applies also for the other two characters. So you can build multiple characters at one time. Okay. So, he's a little bit different. He has an anti-all type against bosses. As you can see. Give skill attacks an anti-boss effect. So he has this innate. So I need not to give him anything. But what really is cool though is if you still give him the anti-type boost, which he has also. It still boosts the effect damage by 50%. I will showcase you damage now. With Ryron in this case. Which you can also boost. It will hit like a truck, just in case you did. He's a machine already on its own. So you saw the damage numbers, 175,000, right? Now comes the Slayer in. We stay away from him because he does an explosion at the very beginning. As you can see, now the damage is at almost 200,000, so the damage cap is there 20k higher than normal. I will finish this now quickly, but you saw 20k. Because he has an anti-type effect going on. Cool, right? So on normal enemies, because they were not bosses, I did only 187,000 damage. But on the boss itself, the cap increased to 20,000 more because of the Slayer and the boost of it, of 50%. Works perfectly fine. As you can see, which I explained to you earlier, already on this little example. The fearism in this game is quite nice, but if you put it to the test afterwards into practice, it's gonna be even better. Many people sleep on that. There's a lot to learn of these characters as well and how they play themselves. For example, Ruto, you will think for yourself, oh, he looks cool like a paladin. He would absolutely bash. You're totally wrong. That is a tank unit. You don't use him to actually bash. He's just soaking damage like insane. But which one, of course, who's this one here? Actually thinking, oh, maybe, yeah, okay, she looks a little bit strange. She can do a lot of damage. She does damage, but different. She afflicts, which means she can silence enemies, she can poison enemies, she can make them bleed, and so on. She's like the queen of ailments in this case. So if you have a melee and you need to go for some ailments, well, she's the very queen of it. Yeah, very nice characters. But Netherdox, what if I want to play player versus player? I got you covered as well. You can do that. There's the arena, which you can play, hopefully. Yeah, I might suck against this team. 4 units you need in this case. And that's the sweatiest shit you will see. So it's like a little bit different than you might imagine yourself. Because you're playing against a pre-made team from your enemy, which you put up, and they will attack automatically. Which you also want to do. Oh wow, he has a good team. But everything is going absolutely automatic. Also gives you more PvP points itself. Oh! One of my enemy's characters died. Really good. There's going much on, yeah, I know. Albedo, which you can see here. Ooh. Something hit us like a truck. Albedo, for example, here is one of the best tanks. So if you bring her down, you know you have a good team. And here is a little bit different. I told you already, you have a setup of a healer, a mage, and a physical damage dealer. In this case, I use 2 healers. But one healer is also a supportive unit, which can act a little bit different than the normal healing unit which I have in here. And something is strange here, because my 2P is always dying. What gives us the damage on 2P? I try to figure out my mistake here. Her defense is good, her resolves are bad. Okay, nevertheless. It does not matter if you lose in an arena. You have 10 tries a day. I want to see what dealt the most amount of damage. Yeah, it was the mage. So the Roland was not the craziest here. But as you can see, our 2P, our counter unit, did the most amount of damage of all. But still, the mage outclassed my 2P because she is afflicted by Earth attacks quite nice. And she used exactly Earth. Strangely enough. But you get the grasp. Defense party, the same. So when they attack you, you need to have something proper in response or you just lose with your team. All of your wards also are being included in here. So many things to cover. Also, we can check the news together. What's happening? World rates are getting back. Give us your feedback. Important. Okay, nothing too crazy right now. And also, which is very comfy, you can play this game either on Steam or on your phone. So, you can decide. If you want to have something on the get-go, because you don't have so much time, well, download it for your phone. And if you have some free space, for example, on work, you can play this game. But if you have a little bit more time, in the evening, for example, 1 or 2 hours, you can install it via Steam. Just play it there. Very sweet. And if you're getting more of a mad lad later onwards because you have mastered almost everything, you can also take on the Maze of Tartarus. Which I'm still, going into. Which annoys me pretty much. The Maze of Tartarus just annoys me. Even though I have now plenty of units. I just don't like Maze of Tartarus. But it has a very unique gameplay. I would say it compares to Bloodborne's Chalice dungeon system. Yeah. You have like specific conditions there. And you need to watch out which units you bring, because you can't use the same unit again on the next stage or in later stages. So you need to have a little bit of a brain ahead. Okay, which units I'm using for, let's say, example, for the first 10 stages, and then afterwards the next 10 stages, and so on, until you hit stage 30 or 40. I think 30.
Don't get cocky.
Also, which is very niche, but what you can do is a tour, which gives you also a little bit of an extra. As you can see, you get some souls here, you get some gold. Your units also get some experience, not too crazy though. And you could tour again, but you have some certain conditions. You can clear these by, let's say, for example, yeah, Grantley succeeded 2 tours with a 60 plus dark resistance unit. I think we have that covered. Oh, we did not. Normally we should have. 60 plus, fucking hell. That's insane. Attribute resistance darkness. That gives us 10. That's already there. Equilibrium also gives 10. Ring of Wisdom. Oh, we have something attribute resistance dark here. Cool story, bro. None. Yeah, weapons normally don't give. Okay. How much do we have now? 45. Frick me. But I think I have something already going on there. Was it Fowser? Fowser! $35. We can give him 10, 10, 55. I think he could get his resistance up. Let's see if we can reach that maximum. This might be a really difficult one to reach. 60 plus. Ah, that's 55. Woo! That's crazy. How much do you have here? 10 only. 20. Wow. And yeah, each unit, as you can see, has also attribute resistances. So this unit, for example, is very weak to light. When this unit gets some light damage, that hurts a lot. And the other ones are resistance. Darkness is not too much. So you also want to pay attention to that one. But you can negate it, as you saw, with equipment. Where is your special gear? I did not get that yet. Okay, I see. Only that one. Another thing what I can recommend is there is specific equipment for each character in this game, which you can usually get by when you go to trading. Let's again in slow trading space, permanent, crimson ore trading space. This is where all of the special weapons are, like really special weapons. And let's take this for example. This one can use only Sage Emperor Zekas, which gives him the chance to evade the physical attacks, boosts the movement speed. Read them really careful, because most of them are yeah, bizarre. This one, for example, has continuous magic barrier effect, magic attack damage cap plus 1000. That is a good one. You want to pick that. But the second one is not so good. You want to pick it only if you really need it. Or like a weapon, for example. Which one do we take here? Which is the best case scenario? Yeah, let's take Blade Master Bayland. Still a very solid unit. So you have his weapon. Critical rate plus 5%, physical attack damage plus 15%, physical attack damage cap plus 1500, yeah. You're thinking, oh, that might be neat. But read the other first. Chance to evade physical magic attacks. Boost the maximum stock of the third skill, bottom left skill. Continuous metis effect. But both are really good. You have an extra stock skill. You can evade, and you get the continuous metis effect. So you can decide now, do you want more defense for the first time, or more offense? In this case you can decide here. But ultimately, in this case, you want both of them. So that you have a really good balance of offense and defense. This was just a little example, and this mostly applies to everything. It is for also very solid unit. Let me get the other unit, which is also like this. Yeah, this is one. So Vayne is a very specific one. He's almost like Gaara from Naruto, working with sand. So you have here the garb of his. Earth attack damage plus 20%. Damage cap, okay. Continuous brave 4 effect, which boosts his strength and his defense. Not too shabby, right? Look at the sandals now. Battle start, restore skills 3. Skill cooldown by 20 seconds. Whoop! Sand weapon active, earth damage plus 10%, sand wall active, physical attack damage minus 10%. I think you want these sandals. And later the Seer of the Sandscarp. So that's why, read through him. Why did I say that? Netherdox, I could go for more damage, why didn't they do that? Well, because Wayne is a very unique character. He relies more on his trait, which gives him, of course, the sand wall effect. So when the sand weapon is active, he still gets his 10% more damage. Sand wall active, physical damage taken minus 10%. Makes the difference there. And you still get, on top of it, the skill CT 20 seconds on the third skill. This can make a huge difference. Yeah. On to the next one. I briefly mentioned earlier the invention medals. These are a new type of coin which were introduced a few months ago. Yeah. So in every event, normally when you hit 100,000 points, you will get one coin. So it takes you at least 10 events. Because for the 300,000, don't go for that. That's just overdoing it. Not for a second coin. So when you have done those 10 coins, you get a very, very specific item which you can choose from. All attribute magic damage attack plus 20%. When hitting an attribute a weakness with a magic attack damage cap plus 2000. That's crazy stuff. And a crazy staff. So this is a really, really good weapon for mage casters which don't have a very good staff, for example. I want to give it to them. Well, attackers, of course. This one here, also very solid. Brave Star Armor. It gives them the physical damage cap up, and also physical magic attack, counter damage taking minus 12%. You get the clue there, right? So everything what you can see here is mostly giving a very unique skill, damage caps, and damage reduction. And if you have all these equipments, which I would recommend you to get, I'm still working on that one. I got my first one, actually, which are the gauntlets, which gives more counter damage, which I get for my 2p. It's also very nice. So if you have all of them, you're really good, and you can use then the other ones. For example, for the Prayer Stardust, you are. These ones are rare to get. If you can get them, get them. All 30 days you can choose one. But what do you need that? Arc increase. I will choose now an arc where it's very specific and where to use it very nicely. So this one here, for example. Tsukuyomi has a very, very, very powerful attack. It has a high chance to insta-kill, but it excludes bosses, arena, and the guild battle. But still, what you can do here, when you have a Prayer Stardust, you are. Choose wisely though, choose wisely, very wisely. You can use one. And always, if you have an arc with a skill, use it on the skill. Cast it now, increase the skill from 7,500,000 to 8 millions. See? In this case I can max this one out. That's such a good one. One more is missing then afterwards. Yeah. Ah, that's a lot of damage, holy shit. Well, but you get the glimpse, right? Also, what I recommend you, when you get the chance of a free ticket for a new arc of your choice, get this one. This sexy little arc. Great War of Ruin, splendid. What does it do? After using your special, your ultimate in this case, the special gauge fills up to 100%. So, you use a special, or your ultimate, and then you have another ultimate. But it's only once per quest. And why you want to get it is this sentence. In quests, the item drop rate from enemies are times 1.5. Huge, right? Also, now comes a little extra bonus. It has a God Slayer effect already built in. And you also get damage taken from God types minus 25%. So, you're more protected from God types, and also deal more damage on God types, if you have the anti-type boost in it as well, which boosts it even further. Now, we're getting to the meanest part. Skill. If you upgrade this to 10, and please, for God's sake, if you go in multiplayer and have this at a skill level 1, don't use the skill. Please, I beg of you. This is just trolling players. If you have it at 10, all ally special gauges fill up to 100%. Instantly, boom. everyone can use the ultimate. And only use it at very, very hard bosses. Other than that, very good for farming. If you're going for farming quests, equip it, do an auto run on the world map, get back the next day, and be really, really cool about that you get your items to upgrade your characters. Yeah, this explains pretty much almost everything. There are very specific mechanics still which are going on, so I could explain there at least 4 more hours. If you want to, I can that. But you also want to see some action, not me clicking around only. So we will do some action as well. Oh, I will open a room on my own then. We still need some purple things, so we're going in for that. We'll equip that one here. But if you can, always get some critical in, the Proud Force in. And also a very, very good hint of it is, if you get an arc, read the arc. Understand the arc. Think of the arc, okay, is that actually good or not? What skills does it have? Is this a good skill? Don't just pull on nonsense. Just read through it. You can always look at the arc, for example, when it's on a gacha. Is it worth it? Does it increase the strength of my units or not? Reading is always the key to success in such games. Also, now I want some Haribo, because I need to get my brain working as well. And I'll let you rest a bit. Black hole! As you can see, the visuals are great. The pixel style, amazing. Very lovely done. Jackpot. Till we meet again. Also, what I need to say, most people... Oh, wow. Nice drops. Really nice drops. Most people will only go for the strongest unit. Of course, logically. I do the same. But you don't want to do that all the time. It was a good one. Because he has some solid traits. He shines more, in my opinion, in PvE. Because it takes longer to activate himself. Oh, back to Ox. As I told you, for gacha games, nothing is guaranteed. So don't blame it on the developers or someone else. If you're lucky, you're lucky. You can of course use paid ones if you want to pay. But I only would recommend the first lap. Except if you have like the amount of money which you don't care about, then you can do that. But someone who cares, go with the small pulls. Well, nevertheless, you could go here, recommend. You can look at the arc itself or at the unit. And look, okay, what does it do? Dark damage up, damage cap up, axe equip. So it's more for axes. When hitting an attribute weakness, okay, so you want to have the enemy an attribute weakness. When unit has no human type, damage taken minus 25%, so you don't want to equip it on a human. When revived, get a buff to nullify damage equal to 50% of unit's max HP. So you want a unit with high HP value on top of it. This is what this arc tells us. Other than that, you will just benefit, for example, only from the dark damage and the damage cap. The attribute weakness, maybe. And a little bit from the revived effect, if you have one with a little HP. But the most amount of thing which gives you, for example, here, in my case, I would say, gives me the Axe Giga Boost. Axe equipped physical attack damage plus 25%. Damage capped is also increased by a whopping 5,000. That's big. And the break value is also increased by plus 20%. This is... because of this one certain skill, I would want it, but not mandatory. I can wait that one out, for example. It's not mandatory. In a case, what is mandatory for newcomers? Is, for example, here. You want to gather as much tickets as you want and get all the arcs you can get. This is your most important thing. I mean, I can showcase as well how it looks like. The Busyman, hello. Welcome, welcome. I'm doing right now a little tutorial for newcomers for this game, but also for veterans. Maybe they also will learn something new if they're watching here. This game is called Last Cloudia, and you can play it almost everywhere. Oh, you can rewatch it on YouTube, don't worry. As you can see, I have already almost all of the arcs, which converts the arcs, which you get when they're maxed out, to Crimson Ores. Which is what you want as well. And yeah, you get friend points automatically when you play with friends, which you can then exchange here. One nice little pull here. Boom. This is where you can get some materials as well. So you can accumulate materials almost everywhere really fast here. But as I said beforehand, the most important thing which you want to do is go for the story. Story is your main part to go for. Do your dailies as well. They're pretty fast done on top of it. And we already sent them some gifts. Ah, someone sent me one. Can actually wipe my list off a little bit. Nope. Yes. Holy shit! Well, I keep him in here because he has really valid Granadas. But he did not play 962 days. Damn! I'm playing that game way too long already. You wanna keep all these Granadas in here. This one we can unfriend. You can unfriend. Edric stays, even though he did not play 333 days ago. He's a real life friend. That's why he's still here. So if you want to send me a friend request in game, now you can do that. Once again, this here is my friend code. If you want to befriend me in Last Cloudia, you can do that as well. And if you're not certain what to do now, you can, as I told you as well, rewatch the video on YouTube so that you can understand the video a little bit better. Maybe pause sometimes so that you can write some things down. Also, if you need to look certain skills up, or some specific arcs, units, or something like that, there's a very nice website to it, which is called Last Cloudia Goldmine. This person does an incredible good job. And I think it's a singular person which does it. And he updates everything when something drops. Keeps it constant, keeps it clean. You can look up everything. And he started with a literal Excel sheet back then. I watched him over the time, and suddenly he had like a very professional made website. Which is kinda cool. I really enjoyed watching him grow. But he's still singularly making all this content.
Don't get cocky.
Correct. Let's open up another one. Still want the purple ones. Let's use Robin in this case. Robin? If you want to farm, I think you will get him very early on. He's the best farmer. He's like, on his face is written, I'm the farm guy. Chance to get an item when dealing a critical physical attack or defeating an enemy. This is his trait already. Then you got his sword. Defeating an enemy gives another chance for an item drop. And then they have you some special ones, which is the Rabbit Labyrinth. Physical attacks have an extremely small chance to cause item drop on critical hit. Bangle of a Master Thief. Chance to obtain an item. Yeah, you get the glimpse there. You can literally farm the shit out of everything with this dude. Which is actually insane. You go in on a quest with him and you get out with like a pile like this of items. Okay, we got our second person, including me third. Welcome. Let's go. Let's have some fun. Okay.
Don't stand in front of me.
You maybe see for yourself that I'm having all the time almost automatic on. But you can also specifically put in something like semi-automatic.
This is it.
So that you can still use your skills, move around, use your spells and everything else. So this automatic, what I have, does not mean fully automatic. It's like I can intervene when I want to. When it's going too slow, then I can go in. As you can see, very nicely damaging. Sweet. And done. Victory is ours. Till we meet again. And now you can see there's a bunch of items now. This is why I love Robin so much in this game. He's so cool. He gives you the most amount of drops. You can combine him together with Yashimaru. I don't think he had an insight yet. But basically, he does the same thing, but a little bit different. Where is the guy? The legend, Yashimaru. Yeah, finding characters is quite difficult. There he is. Yeah, he has like with extra attacks and with physical attack special. Where is his thing? No, that's not it. God step, boost movement speed, boost movement speed. I think that's everything he does. And I think his special equipment. But he's basically almost the same like him. Robin Steel excels him. Yeah, to deal dark extra damage, so the Shadow Clone goes in with the Treasure Bind. Which you can see, this is... yeah. So it gets it done as well. That's the whole point of it. Another run! This game is really enjoyable, lovely. You can just sit back, do some stuff there. Until, for example, you have another task to do. And you just close the game and continue then afterwards where you left off. Which makes this one really unique. You can sweat, but you can also play it very comfortably. And also for the basics, well, we could go later onwards into the advanced things. But not today anymore. This is for another episode, of course. Because we have still many more Fridays to go over. But this is not everything I will do. I think I will also try to go for hard content. Try my best to go for each bosses. Even if it will annoy me. Alright, smooth. Full group again. Oh, if headphone, this music is really something else. Damn.
Don't stand in front of me.
Don't stand in front of me. Goodness. Can I rehydrate?
Stand in front of me.
So let's do a little bit of an ultimate, shall we? Ultimate time. Let's go! Ultimate time! Doing. What's up, Catty? Oh. Also, we can do a little bit of hand workout. Good. Mm-hmm. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Holy shit. How many kilograms do I use here? 50 already. Okay. Well, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We are already full. Nice. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Fucking hell.
So, this is it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, one more on the left and one more on the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fucking hell, I'm losing grip already. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, did that. Whew. Nice drops. Good one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now another thing to go for. 20 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Whew. Right. More strength. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Slow release. Good. Well, for the next episode, of course, which will be on the next Friday, we will discuss about more about the efficiency on how to use support and how to use ailments efficiently, what the ailments do, how to afflict them the best way, also that you can debuff enemies. This will be covered in the next episode on the next Friday. But as you can see right now, I did nothing. No hands on the desk itself. But you can always intervene if you want to. That's quite soothing. Don't stand in front of me. Got him. Good we meet again. Very nice. Yeah, that's a good drops, but still, that's okay. Yeah, you have also some chronicles which you can do. But as I said, we have still another Friday, some time for it. So that you can see what you even can get from there. There's even more to training, how to get some cells, materials. So many things to cover. So many things to cover. But for now, we're just a little bit farming. Also, don't forget to do the 4 lords and the 5 capital battle lords. You will get a very great sword every time it's back. It's a really cool one. 2 more hit combo, they always die before that. And we can do the tower before we end the stream. No, not at the event. I wanted to go for the tower. The fuck? Dude. Still need to finish one more quest to get the maximum rewards. Which one do we take? We can take this one as well. You can see right now we have big unit energy here. PvP percent 100%. You want to watch for this? This is where you get the maximum amount of points. think she is also skill master already. Everything. Mm. Mm-hmm. Good. Working fine. Ding 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 dee 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 dee. Boom. He just burned. Amazing. Would you like to play this quest again? I don't think so. Because we have maximum rewards already. We don't. Goodness, how much do we have? Oh really? We need to do it 2 more times. Oh fuck me. Okay. Let's do it. Yeah. It's always funny. He comes. My cat always comes to beg for eat. Because he's like the chummiest cat ever. You always want to eat. You always are hungry. Interestingly, he's not fat. Go for another round. There we go. And then we should have it. Dim 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 dim. But at least this was a very, hopefully, informative stream. And I hope as well you could learn something new. Or that you gained something new. Despite that. Rewatch should be now 100%. There we go. But you're also maybe asking, Netherdox, why is the rest of it still great? Well, this works also a little bit different than you think. This is your personal things. So these 5,000 points, this is what you contributed to. The rest of it, just like 5 times, 7 times, 9 times, and so on. This is, and how many times it was defeated by other players as well, not only me. The more they do, the more we get. Okay. Yeah, and this continues now. How many times more? 5 more days. Yep, 5 more days. Then it's over. Got also some points here. Lovely. Yeah, well. As mentioned, you can rewatch the whole episode again, and if you find something
You're wasting my time.
which you need to rewatch again, do it, pause it, maybe replay the whole section again, and then can get some further intel maybe, which helps you even better out. Despite that, I wish you a very nice evening, day, or night, whatever the case it is for you. And Netherdox, just getting yourself out. Have a good one. And I see you on the next Friday. But also for the next one, which will be tomorrow. Same time again on the regular stream. Have a good one. Stay awesome.